All by myself. Don't wanna be. Okay, so it looks like we are recording. Welcome back to part 2 of episode 4 of The Survey Says. And like you saw at the end of part 1, I'm still by myself. Where are you, Lindsay? In the meantime, we have so much to cover today that we're going over all the social media channels. I mean, who doesn't want to know that? And I think Lindsay may have a few topics that she wants to get into as far as branding and marketing are concerned. So let's jump right into it and let's get branded.
The BrandProof Podcast is on. The BrandProof Podcast is on. The BrandProof Podcast is on. Here's the BrandProof Podcast Show.
Previously on BrandProof Podcast.
This show is just a perfect reason to try all the nicest bourbons out there, right?
Yes, and we hope you guys at home can also drink with us so we're not drinking by ourselves, because that would be awkward. Okay, so it sounds like we have a lot of headlines to cover, but first off, I want to start with Jaguar. 97% drop in sales in Europe, of course. But that is huge. That would take out any company whatsoever. And so I decided to get on the old YouTubes and look up this ad.
When you think about that, okay, I'm a business owner and I have this big marketing budget and I'm having to pay rent, I'm having to pay utilities, I'm having to pay employees, I'm having to pay inventory. And today we're going to be talking about how to choose the right social media platform. There's a lot out there and it can be very overwhelming for existing businesses or new businesses coming, in the competitive landscape. And so I always like to tell people when they ask, like, what do I do? Which ones do I go on? I like to tell them that oftentimes there's more than one that you want to be on. But first, you have to understand what those social media platforms are, because it depends on your age, your gender, and a whole other factors on whether or not you're on those channels. Like for me, I'm on a certain social media channel more than others. Can you guess what it is, Ryan?
Yes. Let's see. It is not TikTok. No. Okay. Then it is Farmers Only.
I knew you were going to go there. I thought you were going to say OnlyFans. That's exactly.
I was going to. I thought it.
I mean, if my feet were prettier, I think I would entertain the idea. But no, we're trying this instead, Ryan.
Okay.
Here we are. Facebook, right? But, I have a lot of friends that are done with Facebook because it's too cumbersome and they're just on Instagram. So what I want to say is it's really quality over quantity. But when you're making that decision, understand the differences of each. And, okay, if your target audience is going to be 45 plus, then you're going to look at certain social media channels better than others. Or like we were talking about earlier with the different liquid, what is it?
Liquid death.
Exactly.
Death.
Then you're probably going to be more on another channel than another. So let's kind of briefly talk about the differences. When I think of any social media channel, I think of relationship building. It is a beautiful, free way at the end of the day for any business or brand to get it out there, get their name out there, get what they offer out there, and it's free. If the business owner or some part of their marketing team is putting their content out there, it's ultimately free to put it out there. But what are you putting out there, and are you speaking to the right people? Facebook. To me, it's more like a marriage. You have people who follow you. They're your advocates. You're providing value to them. And it's a really love relationship going on. And typically it is the middle, I don't want to say older, but the older, the middle to older demographic. It's the 40 plus. But Facebook has come a long way, and you might disagree.
So you say.
It has. And if you Google it, there are younger people, 25 plus, that are on Facebook for other reasons, not the relationship building necessarily. They might not be on every day, but they have a presence and an account on Facebook. Do you know why?
Either friends and family or marketplace.
Yeah. So you got it. A plus.
What else was there?
A plus. So think of it more like the marriage, the family gathering. And then there's Instagram, and it is so much more visual based. It's about the imagery. It's about the feel, and it's very quick, right? So on Facebook, you might read a whole paragraph in somebody's content, but when you get to Instagram, it's not anything about the content. It's more about that reel that they're watching or their imagery. So
Right.
what age group do you think's Instagram mainly?
Instagram, 18 to 40.
That was very good. 18 to 34 is the main.
Yes.
But since Instagram and Facebook are now owned by the same entity,
Meta.
they're kind of meshing together. And as a business, you can post to both simultaneously, not that I necessarily recommend that. And that can be another episode too. I think it's as a business or as a brand, it's a very good tactic marketing wise to speak to the audience platform that you're on. So if I'm on Instagram, I'm going to be a little shorter in my content. I'm going to maybe use an emoji or two. And like we talked about last episode, definitely at least 2 or 3 hashtags. But on Facebook, the hashtags aren't as important. The emojis, they might think are AI generated, and it could be a longer piece of content. So,
Right.
And another difference between Facebook and Instagram is the fact that links, if you are trying to link back to your website or link to another article, you can do that on Facebook, but on Instagram, you cannot do that organically, meaning without a paid ad. So that's where it's really important in your bio on Instagram to have a place where people can link or hyperlink if you refer to a link out there to your website or to your blog, or have what's called a link tree or some sort of page that has all of the different blog links, news links, or anything else that you want people to know. Anything else you want to say about that before I get to TikTok?
No, I do have a couple questions, but keep going.
Okay.
I'll wait till.
Okay. So TikTok is a little more casual. It's fast paced. It's ideal for creative and idea driven content. I know that you and I aren't as privy to TikTok because it's definitely younger audience generated.
I am on TikTok a lot.
Okay.
I don't post. I've never posted anything on TikTok. Personal wise, I have not, but I look at it all the time. I sit there and swipe.
And I love the fact that TikTok, they all evolve, and it's so hard to keep up with the evolution of each social media channel that you don't know what's being allowed, what's not being allowed that certain week. But TikTok has evolved. Remember, you could only do really short video on TikTok, but now you can watch a whole movie if you want to.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. And then there's LinkedIn, and we know it as a business-minded professional platform. I'm really, really surprised at how many people in professional industries don't see the value of LinkedIn. And I know that they were taking a little dive there, and they've really started picking up the pace with reels, with videos, shorts. They've really started appealing to younger audiences, but as a whole, they are more professional based, but it's a beautiful place for people who are professionally minded, corporations, marketing firms. The list goes on and on. Lawyers, financial advisors. LinkedIn is the place. Even physicians. Physicians sometimes don't see the value of marketing themselves, but if you can build that reputation, you could only be on one social media channel, I would definitely say LinkedIn. So anything you want to say about that?
No, I do follow a couple of our own physicians on LinkedIn, believe it or not.
And I was surprised by one thing, the age group that AI said is the typical age group for LinkedIn right now.
Ooh,
what do you think it is?
I don't know that one. It's usually a professional, so I'm going to say 25 to 30 to 60.
Mm-hmm. 25 to 49. I would have thought it started at like 35. So yeah, you're right. It's a younger audience for sure. And I meant to say TikTok starts at 16, just an FYI. It's like the lively party. You know what I mean?
No, it very much is.
Yeah.
TikTok's got a lot of breaking news stuff too.
And then LinkedIn's like the conference.
LinkedIn is, to me, it's more networking based in a professional standard than it is, like TikTok. You really can't compare TikTok to LinkedIn.
You can't, but you can compare Facebook to LinkedIn.
Yeah, you can do a little bit more on that. Because Facebook, you can have just a professional Facebook page and keep it purely professional.
On which one?
On Facebook.
But more so on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but LinkedIn, like Facebook, you can do a lot more. You can, typically you could post a lot of personal stuff, family vacations and graduations and things like that. LinkedIn, you typically don't have as much personal photos as much. Like I would never post my own family vacations on LinkedIn.
And you're bringing up a very good point, is the similarities of the two is personal versus public pages. Just like Facebook, you have your personal Ryan page, but then you have probably a Mr. Fantastic public page.
I think
you
do. Great. Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah. On LinkedIn, same thing. If I'm a CEO or the owner of a business, I'm going to have my Lindsay personal.
You're fabulous, Lindsay.
I don't know. Yeah.
See?
But
fantastic and fabulous.
Yeah. But as my consulting business, I am going to have my public page. So those are very similar now. And a lot of people don't know that, or businesses don't know that LinkedIn, you can have your personal page, but you can also have that business page. And it's run just the same as Facebook, where you can put admins, your marketing team or whomever else on your public pages. But the new trend, especially with LinkedIn, is using that authenticness of the CEO, the owner, you, Ryan. If you have a business and the business puts out this certain post on the latest partnership or collaboration with another brand, and you share that on your personal LinkedIn page and you put something very genuine about how proud you are that you are forming this union or collaboration with this other brand, you will get way more traction and interaction on your business page because you shared it on your personal page. So that's a way that people can really, become leaders on LinkedIn. That's the difference that people don't know that LinkedIn has evolved to. So,
and I would do I would say a caveat to both. There is a, what's the word? There is a, for instance, on Facebook, if you make a general Facebook post, only about 1% of your total friend group is going to see your post. Did you know that? So like if I say Ryan is fantastic, which he is, only about 1% of my entire Facebook friends is going to see.
Are you talking about in your personal page?
On my personal page.
Professional.
Well, actually, the algorithms have lowered it down. It's dependent upon shares now. Shares and likes. So the more likes you get, the more shares you get, you up the percentage. So it can go to 2% and then 4%. And you can keep growing that the more and more posts and shares and likes and comments. That's why a lot of times you wonder why I've got a post. It did really well. Say I've got 50 likes on it. Wow. So a couple shares. It's doing great. And then I post the next day, almost the same kind of post. And then why do I only have 5 likes on this? And then that's it. And I posted the exact same time of day. I posted what is the difference? Right?
Well, first and foremost, nobody knows the algorithms, but we can, as professionals,
that's just what I've learned from, right.
And I think that this is a good topic because I encourage people, nobody knows the Google algorithm, especially with AI.
The Google algorithm? No.
And nobody knows the Facebook algorithm.
No.
But you can follow trends. You can follow the evolution of social media and search engines, etc. And you can know the gold mines. And the gold mines on a public Facebook page, LinkedIn page, Instagram page, TikTok page is the more followers you get or likes, the better your algorithm gets. Personally speaking, with the businesses I represent, I always say, let's get 100. Let's get 250. Let's get 500.
Sure.
Let's get 1,000. Each of those major milestones, you're going to see that algorithm totally loosen, and they're going to show it to more people. Now, I cannot control who's going to be on their phone that night, necessarily going to sleep and looking through the post. And to your point, your personal friends, some of them may look at the posts in the morning, some of them may look at the posts at night. So they're not, and how long are they going to have to scroll through? That's all dependent. But from the business public page standpoint, we know that the more followers and the more likes you can get to your page, the better. And to your point, the more engagement you can start to get on your public posts, the more that their people will see that they're following, liking, engaging, and then they will come to it. So low-hanging fruit, it attracts other low-hanging fruit if you can get more engagement, hence more reach.
But with that, consistency is key.
But quantity is not.
You cannot just post a post and then expect your whole page to just blow up on whatever social media platforms you do.
Right.
You can't just sporadically, one this month, one next month, one. Basically, when you do that, you're just starting over every single time. People aren't following your adventure. They're not living their life through your eyes. They're not experiencing, so let's say I did have childcare companies, and when some of them would post every day, you get to see, oh, they get to do this. They get to do that. They get to do that. Look how happy they are. And it's the greatest thing ever. But if they don't ever post, right, then I start to wonder, why aren't they posting?
And not everybody can post every day.
No, but consistency is key.
Yes.
As long as you...
Yes. And people who are not used to the channel or social media channel, if they don't have a marketing person or a marketing team, they may be intimidated and they never start. So I always say just once a week, start once a week consistently. Doing something, do some sort of post that is on point to your brand, to your...
Be consistent about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a good thing. And I know that we're kind of running out of time, but YouTube, I mean...
We got all the time in the world.
Well, good.
I made it just for you again.
Thanks. The Lindsay Lens likes to go on for a long time. But it's like the long form education, SEO driven content. YouTube does change, the monetization. They are evolving and they're changing their algorithms. But at the end of the day, it does appeal to a very diverse age range. I would almost say the most diverse age range. What about you?
Yeah, no, I would agree with you.
Because
is diverse.
I mean, you have YouTube TV. It's really taken the place of a lot. It's kind of the hybrid model. It's a social media channel, but it's also more of a entertainment channel as well.
My kids introduced me. YouTube's been around for a while, but my kids introduced me really to YouTube channels that I follow. I follow consistently channels every single day as if they were TV shows on major networks, right? So I now have, Courtney and I follow a lot of French chateau building stuff. So they're remodeling big French chateaus or convents.
That's a very interesting thing you're following.
And it is the most amazing thing because these places are huge. We don't have that in America. So we can't see some of the things that they're uncovering where they say, oh my gosh, we just found a secret tunnel from 1,000 years ago that's been hidden in this castle and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing ever.
Right.
Because we don't have that.
Right.
So I live our life through their eyes of seeing them remodel these big French chateaus and they only, they post every single day or every few days. And I watch. So after dinner, we're watching one channel after the next.
Right.
And it's become kind of, we're watching more YouTube now than we are regular networks.
And so it's not just social media.
No.
But it's a big player. And it's also making a very big comeback with its ads, because I'm noticing with the Google local search ads right now with some clients, they're not getting as much traction with the whole AI and the algorithm changes. But YouTube, they're getting a lot from, because some people are on there for the entertainment, the French chateaus, whereas the other people are on there looking for infomercials or whatever about their industries.
Like for us to do this podcast, so although my background was in video production years and years and years and years ago,
Right.
I have gotten so rusty with knowing how to operate cameras. So for our own cameras that we have right here, we bought the cameras, and then I went to YouTube and I spent hours
Right.
going through tutorials of how to set up cameras,
Yeah.
you know? And so it was, and I've done that for how to fix your car, how to
And
fix
it's
your
such a
leaky
dude thing to
sink,
do.
or-
My husband, like on grills, you know, he can go in and like the big egg, what is it? The big green egg,
big
or
green
the
egg.
Traeger.
Yeah.
And there's whole YouTube channels on the best recipes and the best way to cook. And yeah, it's so interesting.
You can
to
get
me.
lost.
Yeah. And in a day and age where I feel like our time is so limited, it's so interesting to me how much time is invested on YouTube.
Right.
Right. But do I think every business is at a point where they can do videos for their business and like actually capitalize on YouTube? No. If you're a small business, I think starting out of the gate, typically, and I'm just generalizing, Facebook, Instagram is an easy start, and then evolving depending on what you're trying to market and who you're trying to market
And
to.
I would suggest if you can consistently like
Mm-hmm.
follow your directions, do one post a week and just get regular at that, to where that, you know, you can do that with both hands
Mm-hmm.
tied behind your back. And then you do a few times a week, and then you can consistently find a place to where you're like, okay, I'm doing this several times a week now. Right. And I think I want to up my game a little bit. Okay.
Yes.
I would suggest go ahead and do a little small, short Facebook video story, and
Yeah.
just do
or
just,
a reel.
or an Instagram reel. Just do small things and get comfortable at doing those
Yes.
small little videos. And how does that feel? And how does this work? And how does this? So now you have posts, plus you've got stories and reels.
Right.
And now you're upping your chances of actually being seen and found, because not everyone looks at posts, but sometimes they look at stories and reels first, and they kind of treat it like TikTok, where they're just scrubbing through.
Or they're not
the
even
different
looking
stuff.
at it, but they see your name. And that right there is the
Yeah.
branding awareness that you're going for.
Right.
And just getting comfortable. I'll have people, but it's not Tuesday at 4 p.m. I heard that, you know, whatever is the magic number for
Right.
the industry I'm in. Okay. Don't overthink it. Just do it. If you
Right.
just do it, you will start getting comfortable. And then you can start looking at your analytics, and you can kind of see, okay, my audience prefers if I put something out there on Sundays at 8 p.m. or whatever that magic number is. But if you stress over the little things, you will never, ever, ever be consistent or even get started.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, I mean, there's a lot out there. There's more channels we could go over. And if you have any questions, you know, direct message us. We'd love to answer any questions that you have. But I think we went over the main ones, the social media channels that we get the most questions about. And just remember, if you never, I'm a fisher person, and we live on the Gulf Coast. And I think about this. If I never, ever put my pole in the water, then I'm never going to catch the fish that I want to catch. So make sure that you know where you're fishing, and you know what kind of bait to throw out there, and then just toss it, cast it, and see what you catch. But you got to at least have a pole and some bait. So
I love that.
Thank
I love that analogy. That was fantastic.
that's all. That's
All
for
right.
Lindsay's Lens.
Well, that was fantastic. All right. Well, next up, we've got some real world branding wins. I kind of looked up a couple of small business in America, couple small businesses, and how they were able to take a know-nothing company
Right.
and grow it into a huge success. Let's wrap up this episode with a couple of real branding world wins that prove that it's not always about budget, but sometimes it's about bold ideas. And I'm going to start off with Johnny's Cupcakes. Now, honestly, I got to be honest with you. I had not heard of Johnny's Cupcakes, and I came across them, and, I love cupcakes. But, oh my gosh, I was thrown for the biggest loop ever because it's not what I thought it was. So let me read you, because you'll find this so interesting. Okay, Johnny's Cupcakes is a clothing brand founded by Johnny Earl that built a cult following by selling limited edition bakery-themed T-shirts, not baked goods, out of stores designed to look like actual cupcake shops. Right? So everything looked like a bakery, but it was T-shirts.
Okay.
It's not.
I've never heard of it.
I know, but now I want to go find one. They built this following with unique packaging, immersive store designs, and quirky storytelling. They say they are the world's first T-shirt bakery. Okay,
Love it.
Courtney, can you pull up the website? Because this is just the coolest thing ever. I love this. Okay, so here is their website. Look how nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
already telling a story up in the front. Let's scroll down. Hey, what are these videos? Let's click on a video real quick. Let's have fun.
Welcome to the kitchen of Johnny Cupcakes, an independent bakery-themed T-shirt brand. And after 25 years in the business, Johnny and his team have a brand new recipe. To start, purchases are now all made to order, meaning you can tailor it to your own tastes. Ingredients are fresher than ever, like farm to table, but for T-shirts. Better
But
yet,
for T-shirts.
Johnny now prints on new, buttery soft heavyweight T-shirts for a soft but strong, comforting vintage feel. This new process opens the door for a wider menu of designs and apparel. Everything from old classics, new designs, and everything in between. And they're available for men's, women's, and youth sizings.
All right, Courtney.
The variety isn't just in the design.
I love that.
Sorry, keep going down. Another video, Johnny's Cupcake, top innovator in retail, Boston Globe. Happy thing. There's Johnny right there. Hello, I'm Johnny Cupcakes. When you buy a tea, we plant a tree. How fun. Dedicated to my mom. See the story? We're already learning the story about
Yeah.
Johnny's Cupcakes. Fresh baked T-shirts. That's awesome.
I know. This is great.
Keynote talks, the merge. Okay, cool. All right, so Lindsay.
Yeah.
All right, tell me a little bit about why they're successful.
Well, I think this is an area we can totally agree on, Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
like
you
it.
brought it up. Yeah. They're so original, and there are so many T-shirt, screen printing companies out there.
A dime a dozen.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. And they just said, how can we make ourselves unique? How can we be original? And they just took it to the next level. I just love it.
This is kind of that out of the box thinking that we have been
Right.
talking about the entire time.
Right. I mean, they used vintage fonts. They used the vintage even feel of the video that we just watched. And you feel like you're part of them
Right.
and their weirdness. They
Right.
capitalized on their weirdness. And that's a beautiful thing in this day and age, you know?
Yeah, it's just it's so different
Yes.
than the everyday T-shirt company or whatever.
Right. So I just love it. And at the end of the day, this is a prime example of anyone that maybe likes or follows or even has a little bit of a relationship with Johnny's Cupcakes. Now they're like the collectors. They're part of the cult, you know?
Yeah.
It's so movement.
I actually want, it will be my mission
Yeah.
to go find a Johnny's Cupcakes store.
Right.
Why not?
Because they're
I
quirky.
almost said
they're fun.
I almost said bakery. Just to drew.
It's quirky, it's fun, and they brought it home.
T-shirt
so
bakery.
kudos to Johnny's Cupcakes.
Yeah. So you like that one?
I love it.
Okay. This other one you may not like, but this holds a special place in my heart because I kind of found it. It moved into my local area where I was, and the city was kind of half up in arms, half not, because they didn't know what to do with it. It's called Badass Coffee of Hawaii. I don't know if you guys at home have heard of that before. Sometimes the word ass is kind of offended toward people.
Offensive? Like,
offensive.
I
They're
think
kind of,
more times than not.
well, I know some people, especially if you skew a little bit toward, a Christian background toward not. I've heard both sides of the stories for several years now, so I get it. But
chime in, everyone. When you hear the word ass, do you think of a donkey or do you think of vulgarness?
Yeah. And I agree with both sides. I am not disagreeing, but where I draw my line in the sand is the taste of their coffee. It is so good, and what they're doing is amazing. And so, because I drink their coffee every single day, I thought I would tell you guys a little bit more about it. So, Badass Coffee of Hawaii is a premium coffee franchise that serves Hawaiian-sourced coffee with a bold brand identity inspired by the hardworking donkeys named the Badass that once carried coffee beans down the mountains of Kona. All right, so this is on their website, I believe. The Badass legend: for generations, the donkeys could be heard bellowing as they carried precious loads of coffee beans down the steep mountains of the Big Island. Native people of Kona named these hardworking donkeys the Badass ones because of their reliable, strong, but stubborn nature in carrying the precious cargo. The legend of the hardworking donkeys live on today, where we're stubborn about sourcing, roasting, and serving Hawaiian coffee and doing it so with the aloha spirit. Okay, they built this. Let's see. It's a bold name with a bolder energy in coffee. They combine Hawaiian culture with a gutsy brand tone. Tell me why it's working for them, because they are exploding on the scene. They are franchising out like never before.
Definitely working. They're bold. They're consistent. They have a storyline that really resonates.
They have good coffee, too.
It resonates with the people they're trying to resonate with. I am not that person that they're trying to resonate with, but to your point, you tasted the coffee and you loved it. So now you're part of their advocacy. You're part of their following. So if I'm by there, I might try it just to make Ryan happy, right? So it worked for them, and it's working in the sales and the numbers. A bit too brazen for my personal taste and the style of marketing that I do, but I salute them.
Well, they would have used bad butt coffee, but it sounded worse. Bad butt coffee just didn't have the ring to it.
But there's no play on butt.
Well,
what is another reason,
Bad tushy coffee. That still doesn't.
There's not two definitions
bad
of
bottom
tushy.
coffee.
Well, there's not two definitions of bottom, but there are two definitions of ass.
Bad hiney coffee.
Yeah, I mean, tell my 2.5-year-old that's in the car seat in the back what that means,
You want some bad hiney coffee, sweetie? How about a frappe?
Right. And I think, Courtney, didn't you have like a company video or something you wanted to show us? That might make me like it
roll that beautiful bean footage.
A little bit more.
Mo'olelo, the Hawaiian word for legend. They say Hawaii is a land of legends, legendary culture, adventures, and coffee. We got our start in 1989 on the Big Island of Hawaii. But to tell our story, we need to go back to the beginning, the real beginning. Way back in the day, donkeys in Kona, Hawaii could be heard bellowing as they carried precious loads of coffee beans down the rugged mountains of the Big Island. Hardworking, reliably strong, and a whole lot of stubborn, they called them the badass ones. We liked that. So in the 80s, we started sharing that kind of coffee. For that kind of person. The kind with our badass attitude. Word got around. Visitors started swapping surf stories for coffee tales, bringing a taste of our Hawaiian coffee back home, proudly wearing our merch, and getting stopped by folks on the street, wondering what it all meant. This is our mascot. His name is Jack. Jack looks a little different now. Over the years, our brand's look has changed, but our Hawaiian roots remain. But as any true badass knows, it's your actions that define you, not words or appearances. For us, that means we don't compromise when it comes to our products or our people, the ones we call ohana. Badassery, as we like to call it, comes from within. It's an attitude and a mindset. It's showing up, doing the work, and fulfilling promises. It's sticking to your purpose and your path with strength and confidence.
So what I like about what they've done there, and this is what a lot of businesses could do, tell your story.
Bring it home.
Tell us who you are, what you're about,
Yeah.
why you exist,
Right.
because now I really want to go to Hawaii.
And now
and I want to try it.
I still think it's brazen, but not as much.
Yeah, I think it's got a nice family feel to it. It's got a nice, Hawaii is about family. So,
But ass isn't.
well, depends on who you ask, I guess. All right. Well, before I run out and grab a badass coffee and a Johnny Cupcake, let's roll that beautiful outro, Courtney.
And that's a wrap for episode 4. I hope you're walking away with some solid branding tips.
And if you've got a few takeaways from today's episode that you really loved, please leave them in the comments below and we'll be sure to read them.
So be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already.
And next week we'll have some more real world stories, hot tips, and maybe a little wisdom too.
So stay bold.
Stay you, and let's get branded.